Welcome to this week's show. In this episode, we look at the forces shaping the region, from politics and identity to development and resistance. I'm Nadia Muftic, and this is Across the Balkans. A recent visit by Serbian President Aleksandar Vucic to China was his first state visit to the economic powerhouse, and it also marked a significant moment for the Balkan country. Serbia-China relations have been mostly shaped by traditional infrastructure projects, but technology, artificial intelligence, and a changing international order may mark the beginning of a new phase. Adam Amunu has more.
From being entertained by traditional Serbian dances at the Great Wall of China, to receiving the Order of Friendship Medal, one of China's highest honours. Serbian President Aleksandar Vucic's visit marks a significant moment in international relations, underscoring the strengthening ties between China and Serbia. Although Vucic has previously attended various international summits and forums in China, his recent visit from the 24th to the 28th of May was his first as head of state.
Poštovani gospodine predsjedniče, si, dragi prijatelju, i ponosan sam na činjenicu da danas mogu građane Srbije da predstavljam ovde u Pekingu.
While China may be familiar terrain for Vucic, relations between the two nations might be teetering towards new economic and political milestones. Since they established a strategic partnership in 2009, China has become one of the largest sources of foreign investment in the Balkans. They've doubled down by signing multiple bilateral agreements covering the Belt and Road Initiative, education, and law enforcement. Until now, Serbia-China cooperation has focused mostly on infrastructure projects and energy, but the latest visit demonstrates a pivot towards digitization and robotics, with new agreements on artificial intelligence and technology. Vucic's visit signals the perception that Serbia stands as China's most important partner in the Balkan region, and that has drawn much attention from Western powers and the European Union. The European Union recently announced that Serbia is among 6 countries in the Balkans that risk losing EU funding for failing to implement reforms. While Serbia's close relationship with China may create a buffer to bypass the EU's reform demands, it could have implications for its EU membership ambitions. This could also have ramifications for Russia, which continues to hold political and cultural importance for Serbia, but lacks the same economic and strategic clout that China provides. In its 4-year war with Ukraine, Russia's preoccupation has impacted any potential investments in Serbia. Vucic's visit follows the high-profile meetings involving China's Xi and America's Trump and Russia's Putin. These signify that Serbia is entering an arena in which global power dynamics are being redefined.
Mr. President, you have described this trip as the most significant visit of your political career.
This is a very particular moment in which you see many other big powers acting in a way that you cannot predict. China, in the meantime, became even more important as a gravity center of stability.
In a changing world, Vucic's visit counts not just for Serbia, but also for what it could potentially mean for the rest of the Balkans and its relationship with global powers. Adam Amunu, Across the Balkans.
To discuss what Aleksandar Vucic's visit means for Serbia, I'm joined by Stefan Vladisavljev, Program Director of the Foundation Belgrade Fund for Political Excellence for a Responsible Society. Welcome to Across the Balkans, and thank you for joining us. So, what do you think is the message of this visit?
The most important message that we can conclude from this visit is that Serbia and China will continue to foster bilateral relations, and that we are now seeing the new frontiers for that cooperation between two countries. From basic infrastructural projects, we are moving towards the high technologies, and from investment in the old industries, we are moving towards the joint innovation and research processes in the new ones. This means that Serbia is seeking a new phase of partnership with China, and that China is actually willing to provide some of the opportunities for the country to continue its economic development, but not only in a way how we have seen it so far by providing foreign direct investment, but to work together on building up the capacities that will bring Serbia closer to a country that is not as much dependent on heavy hard industries.
Can you explain to us what Vucic is gaining from his partnership with China?
We have two separate components that we need to include. The first one that we need to mention is the presentation of him as a leader who is still able to go to the biggest countries in the world and be accepted by the leaders and the society as he was in China. But the second also is the continuation of what has been the Vucic's main political and economic driver, actually, and that is the provision of development, the increase of numbers, the increase of GDP, and also the low employment rates. So it is a double win for him, but it is something also that depends on how China will position itself, and so far it has been positioning as a friend.
During the visit, the two countries signed 23 cooperation documents and 10 additional agreements on artificial intelligence, education, green development, Belt and Road cooperation, and technological innovation. Do you think Serbia will benefit from those deals? Will they bring new jobs to the country?
It is something to be seen, because many of the agreements that have been signed are the framework for the future cooperation. Because at the moment we are entering the new phase, and we are entering some of the new frontiers that we have not seen so far in the cooperation between Serbia and China. So in conclusion, it is something that we will need to follow and to evaluate and to see whether Serbia has utilized the opportunities that have been provided to her, but also how it will affect some other processes, including the process of European integration, because Serbia still holds the position of the candidate country for the European Union membership. It is a complex question and something that we need to see in the future how it will result, but at the moment it has been presented as highly beneficial and as a big opportunity for Serbia as a country, both in economic perspective, but also from the image that Serbia is projecting to the world.
Is China now Serbia's key ally rather than Russia?
When we talk about East, I would say that it is very highly likable that we can say that China has gained the number one position when it comes to the partnerships in that part of the world. On the premise that Serbia has limited its cooperation with Russia due to the aggression in Ukraine, but also due to the high pressure from United States on the question of Gazprom and NIS in Serbia, Serbia has limited the level of communication and partnership with Moscow, but it has continued, as we seen last week, to build upon the cooperation with Beijing in many different areas, including the ones that we have mentioned that are connected to the new technologies and innovation.
What does Serbia's partnership mean for China in Europe?
It is a strategic position of Serbia in the center of the Balkans, from Piraeus port to European Union market. The Chinese goods that are entering Chinese port in Greece need to go to North Macedonia and to Serbia. It is also a possibility for China to position some of its companies on the territory of Serbia, and if Serbia becomes a part of European Union, that means that Chinese companies will immediately become part of European market as well. And finally, it is a political and symbolical messaging, because Serbia, as China, has a very strong position on the question of territorial integrity and sovereignty. By cooperating and sending clear messages on the principle of territorial integrity and sovereignty in accordance with international law, both countries are gaining, including China, in the sense that they are holding very strongly their position and sending message that no one should interfere with that, because that is for China a domestic issue in accordance with international law.
During Vucic's visit, Xi Jinping awarded him the Friendship Medal. It's the highest honorary medal of China given to foreign nationals. So what will the expectations from Belgrade be?
Very strong messages have been sent not only on the state-to-state cooperation, but also on the relationship of both individual leaders. It is something that Serbia has utilized in the past by promoting also Aleksandar Vucic as a leader who has created that situation in which you can establish such a close partnership with China. With all that in mind, this medal will, I believe, be used primarily for domestic political messaging, presenting Vucic as a strong leader who can provide this type of opportunity for Serbia. But on another side, it is confirmation of continuation of partnership between two countries and two leaders, meaning that Xi Jinping will continue to nurture that partnership with Vucic, regardless of the fact whether he is in power or not.
Mr. Vladisavljev, thank you so much for being our guest in Across the Balkans.
Thank you for the opportunity to address your audience.
Staying with Serbia. After Orthodox Christianity, Islam is the second largest religion in the country. Most Muslims live in the Sandzak region, and the majority are the Bosniaks. To talk about the position of Bosniaks in Serbia, I'm joined by Usame Zukorlic. He is a minister without portfolio in the Government of Serbia, responsible for reconciliation, regional cooperation and social stability. Minister, welcome to Across the Balkans. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Last week, Muslims around the world celebrated Eid. When it comes to religious holidays, you have argued that Muslims in Serbia are not treated equally. What concrete legal changes are you now demanding from the government?
Currently, as a representative of Serbian government, we are working on a lot of fields to improve the status of ethnic and religious minorities here in the state. One of the fields we are working hardly is the rights in the field of the religion and the right to have equal representative of holidays by every religion we have in Serbia. Currently, we suggested to have 3 days free for Eid al-Adha, the Ramazan Bayram, we say here, similar to Turkish.
Yes.
And 4 days for Eid al-Fitr first, and the 4 days for Eid al-Adha, the Kurban Bayram, as we say also. So we are achieved some kind of improvement in that field. So government accepted to give a recommendation to public and private institutions to give 3 days, currently 3 days, to Muslims in Serbia. But we will not stop on that decision. We demand the changing of the law. So the next step will be the changing of the law of holidays, so to have the equal number of holidays for Christians and Muslims in this state. As a minister responsible for reconciliation and social stability, it is very important to have justice in that field. So this is our rule here in Serbia. We really put a lot of hard work to achieve justice in a lot of fields, and one of them are rights to have equal holidays in our states.
How would you describe the current position of Bosniaks in Serbia today, and how do you see the future relations between Belgrade and Novi Pazar?
Thank you for that question. It is always important to speak about the relations between Serbs and Bosniaks on the Balkans. because we in the past we had very difficult time, so that is important to improve the relations between two very important and close nations. You know, everywhere Bosniaks live in the Balkans, not only in Serbia, also in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro and other places in the Balkans, Bosniaks live among Serbs. So we can't separate our rights one from each other. We achieved improves in last 10 years exactly, but we are still far from where we need to go to achieve in the future. So I can see we managed to do a lot of infrastructure projects in Sandzak region, from where I come and from where my people elected me to become member of the government. We also, and I'm very happy to highlight that we also achieved to have more Bosniaks in the police.
That's very good.
A lot of other fields we are really working on them, as a transitional justice, as a status of Islamic community, as other fields related to rights for Bosniaks as a community in Serbia. So I can say as a minister that the status of my community is better now than before, but we will continue to improve the status.
That's very good. Minister Zukorlic, the Sandzak diaspora is spread across Turkey, Western Europe and beyond. How important is that diaspora today for the political and economic and cultural future of Sandzak?
The question is very important because Sandzak is specific. Sandzak as a historical and cultural, very important region, in very important place, in a spot where is crossroad of all other countries in the Balkans, has 10 times diaspora bigger than the people living on the territory of Sandzak. Across all the Europe, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, France, Benelux, Scandinavia, North America, Australia. And in the same time, from the last 100 years, we have a big, very big community migrated to Turkey. Bosniaks living in Istanbul, Izmir, across the Anadolu and other places in Turkey are playing very important role in the Turkish society, especially in economy. And all Sandzak Bosniak diaspora living everywhere in the world are very important to our region because they return the investments, they support the families living in Sandzak in very important way and maintain that the people will remain living and we will have less migrations from Sandzak to outside, from Sandzak and Serbia and Montenegro, of course, to outside. And also I see, and we present that on the Sandzak Business Forum, we had a couple weeks in Novi Pazar.
Yeah, we had it in our show also.
We need some different kind of supporting diaspora to bring us expertise and the standards, especially from EU and the West, to improve our economy and our experience with development in our country and region.
So, Minister Zukorlic, I cannot conclude this interview without mentioning your late father, Muamer Zukorlic, who was a mufti theologian and politician. How much has his legacy shaped you as a politician, and which of his pieces of advice still guide you through your life today?
Thank you for that question. And my father, the Rahmetli Mufti Usame Zukorlic, he's founder of Politic of Peace on the West Balkans in the way where how we has it in this institutional way today as an office of reconciliation and as a party who's dealing with reconciliation in Serbia and also outside of Serbia. He shaped our politics and the relations between Bosniaks and Serbs, and this is one of the most important legacies. He has a lot of legacies in a lot of fields, in religion, in ethnic rights, and development of Sandzak, and creating the university and other educational institutions. And a lot of advices. He nourished me in the way how I am doing with the politics and with all challenges here in this area. And the most important thing I learned from my father is that just as you can't wait to come, just as you need to go and fight in proper way and achieve.
Thank you so much for this interview, Minister Zukorlic, and for your time.
Thank you very much, and big salam from Sandzak to all your audience.
Albania's Prime Minister Edi Rama has backed a project by Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, to build a $4.6 billion luxury resort. He promises prosperity and economic benefits. But thousands of young Albanians are objecting to the project. They insist that Albania's natural environment must be preserved for future generations. Here is more.
Thousands of people are marching through the streets of Tirana and Vlore under the slogan, "Albania is not for sale." The tourism project, linked to Jared Kushner, who is married to Donald Trump's daughter, has officially started with initial preparatory work underway. Another pressing issue is the project's location on uninhibited Sazan Island, a small island that blends beautiful turquoise beaches and rich marine life with a tumultuous history. It lies within the protected coastal area of Vjosa Narte in the southern community of Zvarnac.
Situata në Nart është që praktikisht ne kemi një zonë të mbrojtur, por mbi të gjitha kemi shtetin shqiptar I cili ka lejuar vijimin e punimeve pa konsultuar, pa për transparencë mbi atë që po ndodh në një nga zonat më të bukura apo në një nga zonat të virgjëra të Europës.
Ka një revolt madhe popullore për atë që po ndodh në gjithë Shqipërinë, ama shkëndija ishte ngjarja në Zvërnec që e pam gjithë në rrjetet sociale, një shqiptar u tërhoq zvarr nga disa persona me bluzë zezë, një firme sigurie, sepse po protestonte kundër një gardi që është vendos aty në mënyrë të jashtëligjshme.
Despite widespread public criticism, the government moved forward with the deal to develop the resort.
Unbelievable.
Ivanka Trump said she was captivated by the island's beauty and expressed her desire to transform it into a premier tourist destination.
Over the course of many years, we developed the opportunity to help realize its potential and transform it.
Local environmental organizations warned that the project could destroy marine and animal life.
We can see that we don't talk anymore about how this project will affect the site, because here are planned big buildings, big residential houses, and we are talking for a new city. So in this stretch of kilometers of land, of wildlife habitat, we plan to build a new city. It's declared 10,000 rooms, and what we hear now it's even more. So there we won't have any more the protected area. The delta of Vjosa is completely being destroyed.
While protesters are chanting, "Albania belongs to Albanians," Prime Minister Edi Rama asserted that the project will not be revoked as long as he remains in power.
Tjetër është nuk ka asnjë shans që investimi të ndalojë sa kohë unë do jem këtu. Dhe ndërkohë, unë jam absolutisht I hapur, siç kam qenë edhe në rastet e tjera, për të diskutuar me çdo që ka pretendime.
The Kushner project's estimated value is around $1.6 billion. Rama has invited representatives of the protest groups to discuss their concerns and explore possible solutions. However, many activists remain skeptical, insisting that protecting Albania's natural heritage must take priority. Whether the project will bring prosperity or pose a lasting threat to one of Albania's most valuable natural areas remains at the center of a complex debate that is unlikely to fade anytime soon.
Thank you for watching Across the Balkans. You can follow our stories on social media and TRT World's YouTube channel. That is all from the team for this week. I'm Nadia Muftic, and we hope to see you next time.